I'm Greg Whittler, and I'm with Powerhouse Evangelistic Ministries. I wanted to talk to you about our community outreach program. Our outreach program got its beginnings from Vacation Bible School. There were a number of children that came through over a few years, and we started noticing that some of the kids were really having a hard time with their reading and their grammar. We also had a math component in Vacation Bible School. So we put our heads together to try and figure out a way to help these kids. And what we came up with at church was a computer program that was intuitive, that had the ability to help the kids improve their grammar and their math skills and their reading skills. So we set out and we bought 3 computers. We used a server in order to control our software costs. And we started noticing that the kids were starting to ask really good questions about what was going on in the lessons. Our pastor's wife happened to work in one of the schools where some of the children went. And so we were able to get her to talk with some of the teachers that actually had some of these students that we actually had at our Vacation Bible School. Well, we got a little good at this after a couple of years, and so we decided to talk with other local churches in the community and see what kind of things that they were doing. And we were surprised to find that they had similar programs and they had similar problems with their kids. Now, what we decided to do was to see how these kids in the Wayne Westland area compared with kids in other school districts. And what we found was that in the Wayne Westland area, the kids were doing less than 50% as far as test taking success was concerned. So we had a need to formalize what we were doing. So we began to trade information with the elementary school teachers because our focus is on kids from 5 to 15 years old. We didn't want to go past kids in the 9th grade, but what was interesting is that not only were the younger kids having problems, but the kids that were getting ready to go to high school were having the same kinds of problems. So it was our view that if we started early, then we could possibly help those kids to have a greater degree of success once they entered into middle school and then on to high school. So we decided to invest a little bit more with some intuitive software that would give us some metrics that would tell us how well we were doing our job in helping these kids to actually understand their grammar and the math, because sometimes it's very easy to get a kid to get things right when you're right there with them, but when they have to interact on their own with the program, sometimes they didn't do so well. We asked the parents of a few of the kids for some feedback, so we sent some surveys out, and we got a pretty good response from that. We also started getting good responses from the schools, and we decided to compare metrics. What we found is that if we worked together, then the kids would actually have a greater degree of success. So we thought that what we should do was to expand the program, formalize it, uh, run it for blocks of 4 weeks at a time, and do it 3 times a year or 4. Okay, and in doing that, we know that we needed to have more equipment. Um, so we wanted to deal with 15 to 20 kids in a 4-week period. That would give us good enough statistics through the software, as well as the work that their teachers were giving them, and then we could compare that with what that district was doing with the rest of the districts, as compared to the rest of the districts. Of course, when you're dealing with urban kids, there are challenges because a lot of these kids are from single parent households. A lot of them live in projects, and there's always the threat of them becoming a part of a street gang or whatever. But we got a pretty good response from the city uh, once they found out what we were doing. So then we started looking around for some grants that would help us to set up a formal lab, and we came across GTech, and we were surprised to find that GTech actually has a program across the country. So we went to the site and we looked at what the criteria was in order to get a grant that would help us to buy 2 servers, one for as the main server and one for redundancy, and about 16 computers. We had enough volunteers, and what we wanted to achieve was to bring the kids up to a certain level and then have them to help the kids that come after them. And so far, with our limited resources, we've done a pretty good job at identifying how well we're doing. We can do better, and that's why we decided to write a proposal to your company, and hopefully you'll give it a good look. And of course, we're encouraged one way or another if we're able to get a grant from you or not. We're just happy that somebody would know what we're trying to do, and maybe we would be able to glean some good ideas from your organization as to how we can improve what we're doing. So my name is Greg Whittler, and I am part of Powerhouse Evangelistic Ministries. We have our outreach program. We work with the Community Ministerial Alliance, and we share information because we're all in the same community, and we want all the kids to succeed. My contact information is attached to the proposal, just as you all stated it should be, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for taking time to look at this video. Thank you, and goodbye.